it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we are doing the long-awaited debt snowball update. I have been looking forward to filming this video all month long because we have made huge strides on the credit card that we are currently working on, which is my husband's Lowe's card. Last time we checked in, I had paid our Lowe's card down from $2,698.51 all the way down to around $1,620. That's where the balance was sitting at the end of March. I actually think that I updated you guys a little bit before that, and I made some progress kind of off camera after I filmed that video. But that's what it was sitting at right around the end of March, and now we are going to fill in everything I was able to pay in April. I'm going to give you guys a new lowest balance on this card, show you how much progress we have made and how much of this card we have left moving into April. So we made huge strides towards paying this card off this month. I know a couple of times throughout the month I said in videos that it seemed like it was taking forever, that our progress had slowed down, and that must have just been a perception thing because, you guys, we actually paid off quite a bit of this in April. So like I said, we started with around $1,620 at the start of the month, and I actually just made the sort of last payment for April. I paid our debt snowball payment as well as an extra $100, which is what the fun challenges that I do kind of told me I needed to pay. If you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, go back and watch my budget video for the week. I explain it. I've been using these fun challenge printables to find extra money in my budget to send towards debt. So I pay the $233 every single week to this Lowe's card because that's how much our debt snowball is. We've worked it up to that much over the course of all of these months. We've sort of been rolling our minimum payments that we were paying to cards over and over and over again as we've paid those cards off. And so we pay a big chunk to our debt on a weekly basis. We like to make progress on our debt weekly. But in addition to that, I've also been coming up with fun ways to send extra money towards debt. And that really helped us out because we are going to be coloring in quite a chunk here. I'm going to take a look and see what this Lowe's card balance is right now. We're going to talk about how much we have left and what our plan is going to be moving forward. So give me just a second to look up that balance on my phone here, and I'll be right back. All right, my friends, so I just checked, and our balance on this Lowe's card is all the way down to an even $300, which means we should definitely be able to pay off this card in the first week, maybe the second week of April, because, not April, May. This is April now. So we should just have a couple more payments to make on this card before it is completely paid off, which is super, super exciting. We can't quite color it in all the way to the bottom. I wish I could scramble and come up with that $300 to be able to pay so that we could just put this one to bed, but we're not quite there yet. But we are going to be able to color all the way down to this line, which is 324. We can't quite color in any more than that because the next line is 270 and we're not quite there yet, but still we're paying off a pretty big chunk here in April, and that feels so good. So I've pulled in some of these Pilot Friction highlighters to do my coloring. The color scheme I chose to kind of represent April here on my chart is this pretty purple and this pretty blue color. You guys know I like to color in the chunks in sort of a color scheme so that it's real easy to differentiate like how big of a chunk we paid off in each month. So this big green chunk was paid off in March. If we look back at some of my other charts, we can see it a little bit easier. Well, Amazon, we paid off all in the month of March because we got that big stimulus check and we were able to do that. But let me find one. Here we go. So you can see on this Discover card chart, for example, this green and red was December, this blue and gray was January, this pink and purple was February, and then we had a little bit of this green color scheme from March. So you can kind of see it represented on the chart how much we paid off in each month. I like doing it that way. So we paid off this much in March. Now we're going to color it in for April all the way down to this $324 mark. The fun thing about these highlighters is that they are erasable. So I color kind of like a second grader, so if I go out of the lines, I could totally erase it if I want to. So while I color this in, we are going to talk a little bit about the next step. Excuse me. In my budget journey. So if you watched my most recent live stream, I talked in that stream all about budget burnout and how I've been feeling lately like I'm stretching myself a little bit too thin with the way I've been doing our budget. Between paying the $233 every single week as our like minimum amount we're paying extra towards debt, plus doing the savings challenges, or the challenges that I turned from savings challenges into debt payoff challenges. We've been paying a ton towards extra debt, and it's great because it means that we're paying our debt off really quickly. But I'm feeling a little bit stretched thin. We've been kind of coming in short with how much we're saving towards sinking funds in order to kind of make those extra debt payments happen. And we've also eaten quite a bit into our buffer that we keep in our checking account. So I think what I'm going to do, once I have paid off my Lowe's card, I'm going to continue to make the payments until this last $300 is paid off and we can officially call Lowe's paid. So that'll probably be like the second week of May. And then before I start in on the next credit card in our debt snowball, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Not a long break because I don't want to lose momentum and I don't want to lose steam. I definitely still want to have all of our credit cards paid off by the end of 2021. That's still our ultimate goal. But by not having to pay that $233 a week to a credit card for a couple of weeks while I take this little bit of a break, I can use that money to build up some of our sinking funds that I've been neglecting and replenish our buffer. I like to keep a couple of $100 extra in my checking account to cover anything that happens unexpectedly or to cover us if we go a little tiny bit over budget, because the last thing I ever want to have to do is rely on a credit card. So that's something that's really important to me. Now, I do have an emergency fund of $1,000, but that's for an emergency. Like a situation where, you know, we have $1,000 in repairs to do on our house or something that we didn't plan for. I like to have a little bit of a buffer in our account on top of that. So I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. I don't know exactly how many, if it'll be just like 1 or 2 weeks, or if it'll be a month. Definitely not a super, super long time though, you guys. I'm not going to lose steam and put ourselves off track for meeting that goal of paying off all our credit cards by the end of the year. I'm just going to take a little bit of a break. In fact, I think I'm still probably going to do the fun challenges every week and pay a little bit towards the debt every week, just not that 233 or whatever it's going to go up to. Just so that I can take that money and allocate it elsewhere for a couple of weeks and kind of catch us back up on some of our other goals. I've been sort of short-sighted I've had blinders on and I've wanted to get these debts paid off as quickly as possible, but in doing that, I've kind of screwed us in other areas of our budget. So this is how I'm going to rectify that. I'm going to take just a little bit of a break. A lot of you all that were there with me live during that live stream helped me feel better about that. I was feeling pretty guilty about it, but I think ultimately it's going to be our best bet. So when I sit down again to do a debt snowball update, it will likely be after I take my little break. So this card, if everything goes well, this Lowe's card will be paid off in a couple of weeks. And then I will take a break, focus on getting my sinking funds built back up and replenishing my buffer. And then I will come back with another debt snowball update talking all about what I'm going to tackle next. Once we get this Lowe's card paid off, we will be down to just 2 cards left. We have a second Lowe's card that is my Lowe's card that currently has a balance on it, and it's 0 interest until February of 2022. So we'll just be paying the minimum payment on that card for a while until we get the other cards paid off. And then the other card that still carries a balance is a Walmart card that has quite a hefty balance on it. So we're going to probably be tackling that next. But when I sit down and film that video, that next snowball update, that'll probably be around this time next month. We'll talk all about the plan for that and moving forward. For now, I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring this in. I'm sure it's getting very tedious watching me color, so I'm going to get this colored in and we'll come back and we'll do a little recap. And that'll be it. So I will be right back with a fully colored in chart here. Okay, so there is my very, very sloppy coloring job. It's not perfect, but it tells me that I was able to make huge strides towards paying this card for the month of April. We got just a tiny little bit left. We will color this in next time, hopefully, and be able to say goodbye to this card. I am so excited for that day so we can move forward, but for now, that's going to do it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know how you are all doing with your debt payoff journey. Have you made good progress in April? Was it a rough month for you? I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. You're not going to want to miss it. Thanks so much, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.